Good evening, people. This will be coming out live this evening, 25th of May. Another special, and I feel I've got another marathon of specials coming up. But welcome to Lock, Slot, and Two Smoking Barrels. The two smoking barrels being me and my boy Johnny. How are you after another day in paradise at the shit show?
Broken. I'm broken.
Yeah. Well, people may not know this, but they're soon going to find out why you're broken. Johnny, should we get into this?
Yeah, let's do it.
Tottenham on tour.
Okay, guys, before we get into this, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Subscribe away, because this summer is going to be a busy summer for Tottenham on tour and for the protesters. So please make sure you subscribe and put the notifications on, because there's a lot of stuff coming your way. So here we go. First topic, Johnny, and I'm going to just speak about it and then let you go hell for leather. That's just lot. Murder, She Wrote. That's all, folks. Whatever you want to say. Friday, conveniently just before a huge protest in the final game of the season. Wildfire. Arnie Slot's the man. Arnie Slot's for the job. Johnny's going to go into why he was so happy and looking forward to this appointment. Then, yesterday, it really, really heated up. Then we were on a space, Johnny, weren't we? Where you wanted it to mainly be about Arnie Slot, and he quickly turned. And then there's I'm not going to mention his name, but there's a very well-respected guy from the Dutch who lives in Holland who comes in and gives us a lot of information about what's going on or what he's hearing. And he even said, this is bad news. It's bad news. This is looking like it's going to fall through. And then we woke up this morning thinking that, let's see, big talks planned. And then around 8:40 in the morning, maybe just a little bit before, things started filtering through. And then at 8:45, bang, that's your slot. Arnie Slot is not coming to Tottenham Hotspur. Take it away, Johnny.
Listen, last night, I was actually feeling positive. I'm a big Slot fan, right? And the guy from Final Transfer Market, he was on our space. And he said, 90% certain that this deal's going through. And I said to him, that's 90% certain from the Dutch side. But when you add into the equation Daniel Levy, and when he finds out how much he's going to have to pay to release Slot, to release the staff, and to get players like Kyriacou and Hanko, and I worried. I did seriously worry. But I'm telling you, the press thought that this was going to happen. Robin van Persie left his job at PSV because he believed that he was going to be the successor. That's how much, everyone believed it. I see the pressers doing 4,000 word articles that's just going to be dumped into the sky, along with articles on Fonseca and articles on Traore, all articles about players that were coming here. What manager in the Dutch league, and with respect to the Dutch league, would turn down coming to the Premier League? He even said 2 weeks ago, the Premier League is my ambition, but my ambition is not to come to Spurs. This club, unfortunately, he's come to the realization that our club is the graveyard of managers. It was the graveyard of Pochettino. It was the graveyard of Mourinho. It was the graveyard of Conte. And this is a guy on his upward trajectory of his career. And he's obviously gone to bed at night and he's thought, you know what? I can't do it. I get this could be the breaking of me. This could be the end of my career if I go there. And he's decided, you know what? I'm not going to come. Because nobody wants to work with Daniel Levy. What are you going to sell him? Oh, let's talk about the infrastructure. What infrastructure? You don't know whether you're in Europe. You haven't got a director of football. Okay? Everything about the club is in turmoil and imploding. And it pains me. It really does, because he was one of the most exciting prospects out there, along with Gallardo and probably Nagelsmann. And I'm absolutely gutted. And there's only one man, I'm afraid, we can blame for it, and that's Levy. I'm sorry. You know, there'll be plenty out there who are saying it's not Daniel's fault. He's only used us. Slot's only used us to get what he wants. Maybe there is a touch of that, but I believe if Daniel paid the money, Levy pays the money, Slot walks. If he gives him what he wants, he's very controlling, Slot. He runs just about everything at Feyenoord, and he probably in the meetings. I mean, listen, this isn't a joke, right? His lawyer's flown in, his Brazilian lawyer, Raiola's successor. She's got a £1 billion portfolio of players. She's a top agent and a top lawyer. And they said no. They said no.
Johnny, I mean, well, first of all, Robin van Persie, you should have known from close quarters. Why are you quitting a job when Daniel Levy has got anything to do with the chain? It's like when you're trying to sell your house and it's like, right, wait for this person to buy it. He needs to sell and they need to buy. As soon as Robin van Persie, who should know from very close quarters that this man has got anything to do with this deal, don't quit your job. Don't put yourself out.
Hello, PSV, I made a mistake. You know?
It's ridiculous.
I'll back the car back into the drive.
Mate, you look at it, and like you said, it's just what I don't get is Spurs would have done their paperwork. Spurs have been peacocking around and strutting their stuff. Yes, we want Arne Slot. We want. Well, if you're doing your due diligence, you're going to know they're going to cost. And I'd rather see you spend. What does £15 million buy you as a player? Would I rather have £15 million spent on Arne Slot or zero spent on Rodgers?
Hang on, it's worse than that. It's worse than that, Brian. Add up the compensation for Pochettino and his backroom staff.
Yep.
Nuno and his backroom staff. Jose and his backroom staff. And Conte and his backroom staff.
Yep.
Add that up. That's probably adds up to about 6 slots.
Yeah, well, no, I think last time I heard it was around the 45, 60. You're not far off. You're not far off, but you're doing it. We've done it again where we've gone out peacocking. And like you said, forget that the Dutch team or managers don't turn the Premier League down. Not a lot of players or countries from a lot of leagues don't turn the Premier League down.
It's their calling.
But you've also got to add into this when you're talking about it. People going, oh no, Arne Slot was using us to get us the best out of a deal. How embarrassing. Isn't there a bit of a theme where we're being used as a stocking horse by players and managers to get the deals they want rather than... And this man still does it.
Why would you come? Why would you even come?
There
60 days. 60 days.
Yep, we're 12 days away.
Another deal. 60 days for that.
We are 12 days away from equaling that deal. And I have to say, Stelios, a very, very good friend of mine, a brother of mine, a family member that I've known for over 30 years. Go check out the channel Tottenham Away. Brilliant stuff from the lads. Him, Will, Iggy, JP, Mari, all of them. But Stel said it the best. Stel said it. You look at it. All these managers that are currently in jobs right now, that are staying, know the plan for next summer and this summer. Know the plan for the objectives to get done. Know what's going to happen in the coming weeks. We haven't got a manager and we've got 8 players coming back. We don't know what the new manager wants in people to stay. We don't know who they want to come in. We have got 8, I think I said, Harry Kane's contract. Whoever comes in, we are already, they've got the most things to do, but they're going to have the least time to do it.
Right, it's worse than that. You know, we can't sell ourselves as a club. Wolves were bottom of the league. They got Locatelli in. This is a club, only 4 clubs have ever been bottom at Christmas and survived. He managed to do it. Unai Emery managed to come in after Steven Gerrard fucked the club up and they were at rock bottom. Don't worry, I'll come in and I'll get you Europe, right?
Yep.
De Zerbi, right? Did he need any selling to take over Brighton after they sold Cucurella, Malpai, Bissouma, They ended up selling Trossard, and they all tried to say sell Caicedo, but he didn't go. They didn't need to get on their hands and knees and beg for a manager to come. And the bullshit that you have to listen to, we turned Nagelsmann down. He wasn't for us. On your bike, right?
Not only that, Johnny, there was a Nagelsmann or there was an aggregator, a spurt on Twitter saying that we as a club decided that Nagelsmann needed to take a longer break from football to rejuvenate.
He needed to attend his garden more than attending this football. Yeah, of course.
It's the spin from this club, and it just gets worse and worse.
Who's the only one who is the only one that's believing the spin? Because you've got to be either, with respect, brain dead, or just in their boardroom. Let's try this one. Let's spin this one. Let's spin that one. Because, it's like Putin's PR campaign right now with some of the crap that they're pushing out at the moment for us. I can't bear it at the moment.
Well, we said as well. We'll come on to that bit when we get to the third section. So yeah, Arne Slotter's done. So during that time, it's now time to play Step Right Up. It's pin the tail on the manager, because within moments, Postecoglou, Rodgers, Potter, Mason, and a host of other managers have come through. Step right up, Johnny. Where are you pinning your tail on the manager? Well, it should be pin the tail on the donkey, actually.
Listen, for me, look, I love Slot, right? I think he's a great manager. But my number one choice all along was Gallardo, right? It's always been Gallardo. Slot was my number two. Obviously, Amorim was probably my number three until Nagelsmann became available. None of them are coming. They haven't even spoken to Gallardo. I mean, why? I've got no idea. If you want to look at what the job he's done at River Plate, he hasn't got experience in Europe. He knows football, right? Football is football. I'm not sure what's going to happen, to be honest with you. Ange for me is probably going to be Munn's choice. He's Australian. We're going to Australia. There's a massive connection there. I don't believe Levy's 6 months search for Scott Munn, considering they've known each other for years. I don't want shark face, Brendan Rodgers. Okay. I mean, you just need a hall of mirrors so he can look at himself throughout the season. Not for me. Harry Potter's lost his magic. What are you left with? Personally, of all the Premier League managers, I'd go for Thomas Frank. But
that's my number one.
I know he's a fantastic tactician, and what he's done, most people can't even name the team that he puts out every week. They can probably name Tony, and they can name a couple of others. The difference here is you've got a group of individuals that Thomas Frank has molded into a fantastic team, right? For nothing. Okay, for more or less nothing. They put us to task on the weekend. They embarrassed us on the weekend.
No, Tony, no
watching
problem.
Him on the sideline with his clipboard, berating his players, 3-1 up, and berating his players in the 90th minute for not being in the position. I'm looking at Ryan Mason. Give me a break. Give me a break. So, but we are begging. Why would you leave? Why would you leave your job? I don't even think Sam Allardyce, right, would even have to think about taking the job. I'll tell you honestly, it's embarrassing. Locatelli, I think that's how you pronounce his name, from Wolves.
Yep.
I think he would leave. He's a good manager. I believe he's a good manager. I mean, he was the Spain manager, and he got sacked because he wanted to go and take the Real Madrid job. Yep. So that all went arse over tip, but I would think that he was also someone that we could be particularly looking at, or Enrique. But he's got 12 days to break the record. No doubt he'll rush, because right now he's putting himself, he's probably reading. He's active on Twitter. Levy with all his Cullen and the disciples are out there probably reading everything now, feeding it back. Or if they're like Putin, like siphoning off, don't tell the boss, They all think he's a fucking moron, right? That he's fucking up. Don't tell him. Don't tell him. Yeah, Daniel, everything's fine. Everyone's quite happy with the onslaught. No one really wanted him. Keep going. Keep going. Him and Scott Munn are still flying across Europe, probably trying to find another manager who might be interested.
Oh, that's probably knowing Daniel. That's just to rack up more air miles that he can claim cheaper flights for, knowing him. But yeah, listen, it's become it. We are in a sorry state of affairs. Do I think the 12 days will go by without a manager? Oh, yes, I do. It is this bad. And like you said, Thomas Frank for me. But if I was Thomas Frank, I ain't leaving Brentford. I'm not leaving Brentford where the sun is shining, the birds are singing, and the sky is blue all the bloody world time. It is absolutely joyous for them and what he's achieving. And like you said, comes to us. That was their first game without Tony for 8 months. Oh, just rock them down. Okay, you want to say we're a one-man team? Like we're a one-man team? Oh, our one-man team scores. Their one-man team ain't even on the pitch and won't be for 8 months. We'll just smash the cranny out of you in the second half. But when it comes to managers now, you look at it, like you said, you mentioned Steven Gerrard going and Unai Emery coming in. When Unai Emery took over, they were 14 points below us. They're now level with us, or no, above us.
Above us.
Above us with more victories, and they've done the double well over us. You look at it, that's a manager that's come in and done stuff. Like you said, these managers have come in. We are on street corners begging for people. Go, please.
We would even know, Brian, how many people would even know if you did a survey and asked people to name from the goalkeeper to the striker, the 11 players that play majority of the week for Brentford. I guarantee you the vast majority wouldn't be able to name probably 50, 60% maybe of that team.
Yeah, you're right. And look what they've done. And look at the players they've unearthed. And you've got to remember as well with Brentford, and this is where Brentford deserve a hell of a lot of respect. They had Ivan Toney, but they found Ivan Toney. But the striker before that, they found Ollie Watkins.
Correct.
The striker...
And Rama and Malpai and...
Exactly. They find, because of a succession of scouting, which, oh yeah, that will come into that in the next... but this pin the tail on the manager, I've said before, I don't give a flying monkeys who it is, because it makes no difference. That man
say that, is that pin the tail on the manager? Was that a reference to the fact that we're probably going to get a donkey?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what you used to do, pin the tail on the donkey.
Exactly, right? That's exactly what. There you go, Johnny. I should have kept it as pin the tail on the donkey, but this time who's going to be the man? I mean, Ryan Mason. If it is him, my God Almighty, and for him,
backing up shop, Brian. I'm going to go and watch
him. Brendan Rodgers. This has become our thing now. Could we have got him when Liverpool went wrong and he was out? No, because Poch was still there and we were doing okay. Could we have got him when Leicester had won the FA Cup? No.
He turned us up, Brian.
Now that he's almost got or been a massive part of Leicester getting relegated. Oh, he's cheap and available. Let's do this. This is becoming an absolute shit show, and I expect another 15 names to come up. God knows who we're going to get. And this is just going to go on. And like I said, I don't care who the manager is, but this is the big topic now. And I'm going to have a little rant here. So buckle up. So I'm going to start, Johnny, when we were in our space yesterday. I'm not going to mention names of the people in the space, but both very, very well respected, the people I'm talking about. And one of them said, I think if Slot, which now becomes irrelevant, but this is why I'm going to show you and talk about this. If Slot does come in, I think Levy out and all the banners and protests should stop, because it shows this club is making a move in the right direction. It's trying to do things. And then obviously I heard that. I was like, whoa. You look at this right now. We have climbed so far up this mountain. I believe we've well and truly passed the halfway point in where we are. If we are to descend, we have to start in a few months' time when the next manager gets fired from the ground and start climbing this mountain again. And he's like, no, this will happen. I think it will show great faith and belief, and we're all pulling in the right direction. I said, this has happened for 23 years. And I said, if that's pulling in the same direction, why doesn't Daniel Levy come out and say, do you know what? Yeah, we had a price freeze because of the global economic crisis. That's the reason. We nudge nudge as to why we froze those ticket prices. But because I'm not giving you Champions League football, because I might not be giving you European football, I'm going to reduce the prices. Let's see Daniel Levy come out and say something like that. Where, as Johnny said last night, if you divide the games.
Well, for me, for my
yeah.
premium, for the
Yeah.
premium seats, okay, it's all encompassing. So whatever the games are. So hang on a minute. So if we're not in Europe and I've still got to pay the same amount of money. So hang on a second. Am I not going to get a deduction? Because I could get between 4 and 6 games less. I'm going to get no European games. I mean, if we were in the Conference League or the Europa League, you're talking about probably 5, 6 games.
Yeah.
Probably 5 or 6 games. So I'm now going to have to pay the same amount of money for 5 to 6 games. So if I work that out and how much I'm going to pay per game for individual seats, it's astronomical.
Yeah.
I could be paying for 18 games this season because there's no guarantee you're going to get a home cup draw.
Yep. And you look at it, that's just part one. You look at this as well.
Sorry, 19. Sorry, 19.
Yeah, 19. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Yeah, so we got that. We have no manager, no director of football, no idea what we're going through. Every single time we're trying to spin this, we're looking more and more embarrassing. No matter where you go with this club right now, people have been saying to me, "Oh, Brian, you're negative. Why aren't you you're a grey cloud? Why aren't you a ray of sunshine?" What am I exactly to be happy about? What exactly am I there to be thankful for? Apart from Spurs fucking official social media accounts that want to put out this week, one day, I can't remember which day it was, on this day a year ago, we beat Norwich 5-0 to get Champions League football. On this day. Well, on this day, now, we've gone through 3 managers, a corrupt director of football, may not have any Europe at all, but yes, let's do that. This club, no matter, business is going up, football is going down. Johnny, I can't even think of a word.
5 summers, 5 managers.
Yeah.
There's one thing I wanted to read you, Brian. I'm sure some of you have heard this before, right? But for me, it sums what he's done to the club and where we are, right? Welcome to, this is from the official site. Welcome to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We have created a sports and leisure destination for London with a multi-use stadium capable of staging major sporting and non-sporting events, including NFL, rugby and concerts, as well as Tottenham Hotspur matches. What the fuck? So you're telling me that the last thing mentioned, oh, and by the way, we play football, right? No, this is a football club. What it should be, this is the home of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. And by the way, we also host NFL and concerts.
Correct. And Johnny, just to cut you there, because, and then I'll let you carry on.
Sorry.
Before people, because I've mentioned that as well.
Oh,
and then you have people coming and going, oh, that's on the stadium page where they're talking about leisure and tourism and all these things. I don't give a fuck. Whenever you are talking about the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium,
welcome to Tottenham Hotspur. Welcome.
Exactly. Whether it's the media page, whether it's the stadium page, whether it's the activities page, whether, I don't care what page it is in, the very first thing it should be saying is the world famous home of Tottenham Hotspur, or worse to that effect. Not yada, 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 NFL, boxing, blah, 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 and
Beyonce, go-karting.
Mate, I loved it. I have to say, Chris Cowling put that video out with the go-karts and the racing track. And fair play to him if that is his channel's content. But the best comment I've seen on YouTube came out where it said, wow, I didn't know our F1 team had a football, our F1 stadium had a football pitch. And I was like, that's exactly what we have become. This is exactly where we are. And it's ramping up. It's ramping up. This guy, I don't know what this club is playing at. I don't know what this club is doing. I mean, Johnny, we've seen polls all around. I have never, I'm 44 years old next month, been following Spurs properly since 1987, as far as I can remember. But because my dad and my mum supported Spurs, always been a Spurs fan. And I have never, and I repeat, never, including the 90s, where we won 2 trophies, ever felt so neglected, so disconnected, and so distraught by how my football club is being run.
I've got to be honest with you. Look at the statement. I'm only 26. I mean, like, supporting Spurs, look what it's done to me. No, I mean, listen, joking aside, you know, because I'm trying to find humour here. It's very hard to find humour. I woke up this morning, I was genuinely felt like I'd been punched in the gut. I literally could not, I couldn't speak about Spurs this morning. It's broken from top to bottom. You know, the ladies' football team, we had a top manager that came. She left broken, the graveyard of managers. We had our biggest ever signing, 250 grand, woman. We'd almost got relegated. Our under-21s, relegated. Coaches leaving. Director of football, you know, criminal activity, he's gone. We haven't. I mean, bearing in mind that Paratici left in January, well, just after January. And what did he do? As soon as the transfer window ended, after it took us four weeks to get the Porro deal over the line.
Yep.
Let's put Paratici out on the video to talk about what a great transfer window. And then less than a week later, I think it was the day after, wasn't it?
The next day. It was the next
day, right? It's off to jail. Do not, you know, I'm gone. And so February, March, April, May, 4 months. And we're still searching the world for a director of football. And well, I love the latest one. We want a data analysis. We're going to follow the Brighton and Brentford. Hang on. They've been doing it for 7 frigging years. 7 years behind the curve. Where have you been? Wake up. Wake up. You're not a football man. Let the football stuff to the football people. Go back to running the business. Bring in the right people. When you run a business, when you have a successful business, you cannot be all things to all people, right? So what you do is you go out there and you hire the best of the best. But when you hire the best of the best, because you can't do anything, because you can't do everything, you can't go in and sit and micromanage their jobs, because it won't be long before they say, I can't cope with it. I can't work like this. And I'm off. And that's what's happened again and again and again. And the Mourinho comment today, sorry, I was just going to say, the Mourinho comment today, where he said, I love all my clubs, right, that I've been at, apart from that Tottenham club.
Yeah, and he said because of Levy, he said he didn't want to upset Spurs fans. But I want to go back to what you said about this data thing, because it's just comical. It's just comical. So basically, remember everyone, we're going to bring in a director of football, or our chief footballing officer is going to make all the footballing decisions, apart from the one where Daniel Levy's telling us how the club's going to be run. They can do what they want, but they've got to follow this model. And like you said, they've been doing it for years. We need to be fixed now. If we go down this model, which I'm all in favour of, a new manager comes in and has this summer to get his players in. That won't be helpful. Then the manager needs to identify the players he wants out and the positions he wants to be bringing in. Then these data analysts need to use that time to use that data and all the algorithms to find players that meet that description. Then they've got to whittle it down. Then they've got to approach. We're not seeing the fruits of this tree for 2-3 years. We don't have 2-3 years.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing because it's not just that. You know, the analysis that Tony Bloom uses, for example, he has a massive betting empire, right?
Yep.
Up in Asia. He has to protect his business. So therefore, he has algorithm and data to scan every football match, because he can't be caught offside. You know, if you're wrong in a game in Peru or in Paraguay, and someone in Asia's got a tip-off, you have to know everything. So he knows the players. But that's only stage 1. Stage 2 is, okay, I've identified the player. What's his background like? Can he speak English? What's his family like? Will he settle in the country? There's a whole list of parameters and like a filter system that once you've got them, you know, will they be good enough? Then analyze, will they need to go out on loan? Can they come to the club? We don't have the infrastructure or the setup to do any of this right now. We don't have any of it.
Yep. And that's where we are. Now, listen, we're going to come on to the final topic. I'm not going to bring up the headline straight away because I'm going to do a little intro into this because I think it's only necessary. For a long time, we've been wanting players to speak out. We've been wanting ex-managers and directors of football and the media to write about it. And more, they are starting to do that now. More and more, they're coming out. Now, what I don't understand is you have someone like Jamie O'Hara, Tottenham through and through. No, let me go. No. Let me go through. This is how the double standard. Ledley King. I've had people come to me in chats and on Twitter. Oh, bro, I didn't hear Ledley King. Ledley King is all for Levy. Ledley King stands. Ledley King is on the payroll. Oh, but Ledley King is Tottenham through and through. Ledley King, unfortunately, is on the payroll, so can't speak, and I totally get that. Gary Mabbott, the same. Jamie O'Hara isn't on the payroll, and guess what? He speaks, and he speaks loudly. Then you hear, no, but he wasn't a good player. Doesn't matter. He's speaking out. He's seen it. You have people like Jermaine Genius, big public figure now, doing very well for himself on for BBC and BT. I think he's an incredible pundit. He's speaking out. Won a trophy. Not paid by the club. And then there's one man. And he gets the criticism of saying, oh, he was not a good player. He was awful. He was this. He was that. Whether he wasn't, he won a trophy. And I want to thank this man from the bottom of my heart. And I wish more people had the courage and balls and willing to do something about this club like Ramon Vega. There's people like myself, Stel, Danny, and other YouTubers, Johnny and others that do it in spaces. This man is coming out and standing out and telling it how it is. But people go, oh, he wasn't a good player. I don't care. I don't care what people think. He won a trophy. He's something to me. He is something to me. He is part of a dying breed. A dying breed that used to be regular at this football club. A trophy winner. And every time he gets given a microphone, he calls it as it is and how it is. And why people aren't listening to what this man is saying is beyond me. Now, what we need is what's going to shift it is a big player, a huge player that isn't on a Jurgen Klinsmann or a Rafa van der Vaart, or although Rafa in Holland has been saying things, because right now, that's what it's going to take. Because right now, people that aren't so much Levy out are going, well, a big player comes out and says something, they will do something. But Ramon Vega, I'm going to let you speak about Ramon and other people that are in the media talking. But Ramon Vega, thank you. Thank you, my man. And people will know that I've been speaking to him on and off. I hope to get him on the channel. I really do. He said he will. It's just finding the time. He's a busy man. But once again, I just want to take this opportunity because he's done another interview on Sky Sports today, which is available on YouTube. I recommend everyone watch it. Ramon, from me to you, thank you, my man. Johnny, over to you, buddy.
I mean, listen, look, I have to respect the fact that the likes of Ledley King and Mabbott, you know, this is their livelihood. And, you know, I wouldn't want anyone to jeopardize their livelihood, the hand that feeds them, even if they don't agree, because they're probably there's probably quite a few players within the Tottenham setup right now who do not agree, but for fear of speaking out and losing their jobs. And I don't blame them. You know, there's no reason for them to lay themselves on the line for the fans at this stage. But as you rightly say, you know, Jamie O'Hara has voiced it. I'd be interested to see. I thought actually Rafa van der Vaart, he was the one that recommended Slot and endorsed Slot to Spurs. I wonder what he's thinking today that this deal has fallen down. Maybe tomorrow he'll speak out. But you're seeing more and more journalists now actually talking about this. Oliver Holt's article the previous week. And did you see how many Spurs fans jumped on that Oliver Holt article?
Yep, it's ridiculous. No, I just got to let you know.
Go on. There's always something that happens when we're live.
So it's come from the Spurs Express.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Yeah, Graham Potter has emerged as an option.
Oh, well, everyone's emerging as an option.
So it's all coming out. We're all going down that Chelsea bandwagon once again, people. Listen, this was always going to come out, but this is it's just been sent to me. Here we go again. But getting back to the players that speak out, Johnny.
I just think that maybe a few will speak out. I was saying that the journalists, more and more journalists now.
Yeah.
If you speak to the Athletic boys on their podcasts, people are daring. There are a few who
daring to do.
They are daring to do. There are a few, but there are a few still who don't want to upset the hierarchy, so they don't want to say anything that might stop them having access to players or, matches and stuff. But, that Oliver Holt article, which was a damn, it really damned the setup at the club. He was trolled big time. The abuse that he got for that article, it was shocking. And now I think it was today he's reposted it saying, like I said. Yeah, like I said. Danny Kelly, he's at his wit's end with it.
Yep.
Just go and see. So many journalists now are really putting their head up and calling it what it is. Talk sport now. The only person that's defending Daniel Levy right now vocally is Simon Jordan, right? He was doing it again today. And honestly, I know he tries to rile people up to get them to call in, but it was a bit much today.
That reminds me, I've still got to get Matt on. I'll sort that out. I've still got to get my man Matt, Mr. Go Wild at Simon Jordan and Goes Mad, the Tottenham legend. I've got to get him on. But yeah, it's come to the point, like I said, Ramon Vega is doing all he can. But I don't know why these players that are speaking out, they're getting told they're not good enough as players. So what do they know? Jose Mourinho was a shit footballer. He even says it himself. He was a shit footballer.
Yeah.
Incredible. One of the best managers.
He was a translator for
Bobby Robson. Yeah.
At
Barcelona. This is it. So, Ramon Vega, again, I am to thank you on behalf of Tottenham on Tour, other channels, and Spurs fans for what you're doing. Keep it going. Please, hopefully he will be on this channel within the coming weeks. We just got to sort something out. I am speaking with him.
Look forward to that.
He's been on the BBC. He's been on Sky. Wherever he goes, whether it be on Twitter, whether it be any social media, Ramon Vega is telling it as it is. So once again, Ramon, thank you. And also saying thank you, Johnny. I want to thank you. Everyone check Johnny's Twitter handle, which is right there under his name. You always do it wrong. Just point down. No,
I've got deformed fingers, obviously. I can't
go the opposite way. So
yeah,
if you go opposite, there you go. See, look at you. I will get you there, Johnny. We'll get you there.
Yes, my coordination is perfect right now. A bit like about the lucky
just
dip.
like the football club, we're going here, there, and everywhere. So, guys, please leave your comments for me and Johnny. There will be more. There'll be a lot more.
Please, God, when we speak next time, we have a football club. And there's not, I mean, when we've done this over the period of the last few months, I remember, I think it was the first time I was on.
Yep.
I don't have the list now. I did a list of all the things that had happened this season. Maybe we'll do it again.
Yep.
Because And I didn't think in my wildest dreams that it could have possibly got any worse, right? And it just has. Just when you think it's, what's the term? Just when you think it's safe to go back in the water, Jaws, right?
Oh, mate, do you know what? This is what it is. And I was about you said, hopefully next time we'll do this, we'll have a football club to beat. And then you've realised you and me are going to be doing a lot of stuff this summer, and they'll be
Yeah.
only getting worse. So, guys, like we said, we are going to be doing a lot of stuff this summer. There will be a lot of lives. Brian Ireland is going to become a free man again come June, so he'll be about a lot more. Danny
Don't forget
Kyriacou,
to subscribe, Brian.
yes, and most important, that's why I was going to say to them to subscribe, to share this, especially with people that you want to spread anything about Levy out on, because there is a lot coming from this channel and talking about the protests and plans of where we're going to be in the summer, what the plans are will be released here. So please like, comment, share, subscribe, and as always, Levy out.